everyone, this is Elena. We're at Governor's Ball today, and we are here with Nation of Language.
Hi, I'm Aiden.
I'm Ian.
I'm Mike.
All right. First question for you guys. What is the origin story of your band?
It first started out kind of just as like a writing project. I'd been writing guitar music for a lot of years and wanted to kind of see what would happen if I sat down behind a keyboard because I'd grown up with piano and then kind of stopped for a while. And so yeah, just trying to like make some very simple synthesizer music as a change of pace. And then Mike and some of our other friends were like, hey, like let's record this and like play it at the local bar, and then it just kind of kept going, and the lineup changed a little bit over the years, and then now we've settled into this one. Aiden learned how to play an instrument just to be in the band. She had never played music before,
So was that like your onboarding process? Was you had to like learn how to play an instrument?
Well, whenever all of the former synth members moved to Los Angeles, I didn't want the band to end. So I was like, if you can teach me, I'll do it. And so he tried, and I guess I succeeded enough that he allowed me to join the band.
Looks like you more than succeeded. Yeah.
Thank you.
So your debut album, Introduction Presence, you released it last year. It was very 80s inspired, very synth driven, but also with a little twist of, punk elements in there. What inspired the development of that particular soundscape?
I think it was kind of like, it's like the first song that made me want to kind of start the songwriting experiment was this song called Electricity by the band Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark. And it's, it's a synth song, but it's very sparse, and you can hear the bass guitar and you can hear the drums, and it's all kind of like visually right there for you, and feels very kind of like urgent. And so I think that being a foundational element of the song, of the like first songs that were made, kind of has always stuck with it. So there's like a little bit of post-punk mixed in with the new wave synth sound.
All right. So Introduction Presence carries a generally distant and melancholy feeling, but you have released 4 singles so far this year that seem to have like a more joyful and like celebratory sound to it. What would you attribute that shift in sound to?
I mean, I think it was kind of like some of those songs existed when we were putting the first album together, but kind of in a curatorial sense, I wanted to group things in such a way that, the first album had a bit more of that melancholy. And part of the reason why it was nice being able to record and start to release the second album so quickly is I feel like they complement each other nicely. But there's still melancholy in the second album, but there is this sort of element of joy, even if it's kind of the joy of being able to experience, that melancholy and being able to experience anything at all is kind of like a twist on, I feel like, what we gave with the first album.
I feel like that's like a very human way to look at things. I know it's like weird to describe it that way, but just like the joy of like melancholy, right? It's just like part of the human experience.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think that's great that you're moving towards that.
Yeah.
Okay, so these songs fall more into like the experimental electronic realm of the 70s. What has it felt like to push your sonic boundaries a little bit more?
I mean, it's been very exciting. We kind of, when in the studio, it was a little looser, a little more relaxed, and we kind of let ourselves see where things took us a little more, and a bit more improvisation in terms of using the studio as we were recording to expand things and get a little weirder, a little trippier with things.
So what's like the writing process like for you guys? Because you said it was a lot of improv, so do you go in with a general idea of what you want to accomplish in a writing session, or is it kind of like, let's just go in and see what happens? And
I mean, the like skeleton of the song is usually kind of written like by me at home, and then it changes song to song. Some songs, when we get into the studio, I know pretty much exactly what I want to happen, but there are other ones that, and this can make the studio experience a little more fun and less me being like, no, that where, yeah, it's kind of brought in with, 70% of the idea there so that we can just let the rest become whatever it becomes. And so, yeah, that happened more on this album than on the first album, which was fun and exciting.
Yeah, cool. All right, so with your upcoming album, A Way Forward, that will be released in early November, what do you want listeners to walk away with after they've heard all of that album?
I mean, I think, just like a sort of a more complete sense of what kind of in our minds Nation of Language is, having the balance of the first album and the second album, and kind of, just like pushing out little bits here and there of what Nation of Language can be for people, and hoping to continue that sort of movement onto the third album and the fourth album, and just kind of expand and find a little more room for ourselves as we go.
Yeah, I think that's what every artist strives to do. I think that's what every person strives to do too, right? Is just constantly pushing what you're capable of so that you can continue to change and grow.
Yeah, exactly.
So it'll be interesting to hear. I'm excited to hear the album in its like entirety and compare it to your first album in its entirety, and see where some of the striking differences are, but like because you've done it in a way that isn't like a complete 180 of what you originally were doing. It'll be interesting to see like what we're able to pick up on.
Yeah, I mean, I think like in my mind the first album is some like a review had described it once as a greatest hits album of a band that never existed, which I thought was pretty funny. And so it feels like a bit more like a collection of singles to me, and the second album feels a little bit more like a journey that kind of like starts one place and you go along through the highs and the lows. So yeah, that's very exciting.
Cool. I love journeys. So. What have been some of your favorite memories from creating this album, considering it was like pretty much through the span of the pandemic?
I really enjoyed riding our bikes every day from our apartment up to the studio, which is in like Williamsburg, and just like those morning rides every day were so like nice and cool for the heat of the day. We got our coffees, and just like that constancy, that routine, which was like absolutely lost for the first half of the pandemic. It was like really good for my mental health and well-being.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
Yeah, the idea of like getting out at a certain time each day instead of just being huddled at home, it was very satisfying.
It's a non-musical answer, but it is one of my favorite memories.
I mean, hey, it's a memory that could have influenced when you were writing, just being able to pick up on things that make you happy throughout the day. How did it feel to be on stage at Governor's Ball today?
It was cool. It was our first like daytime festival experience, and it was like cool to see, like, because we were first of the day, like people trickling in and being like, oh cool, and like walking closer, getting excited. It was really nice, and it sounded really nice up on the stage too, loud. And
yeah, it's definitely it's been cool, like just as we've started playing shows again, getting the different feel of each space and each crowd. And so this one is like a particularly stark starkly different situation, and so I was just really excited to be there and kind of find out what it was like as we're going through it, which was a lot of fun. It was great.
Yeah, I think it's just it's a nice change of pace. It's nice to be playing in the sunshine, We haven't played a festival in a long time, so it's good to be outside of a dark club that doesn't smell like beer and,
And
we love those clubs too.
And you get all the people before they're like tired at the end of the day. But then it's also like really hot out, so I'm like, I don't know like what it all
there's a
balances
balance,
out.
yeah.
Okay, so final question. Is there anything else you would like to share with us?
True, we're about to leave for tour in a week.
Ooh.
October 2nd is the first show in Detroit, and we'll be gone. Last show's on Halloween in DC, so we'll be doing a big loop, and yeah, and then album comes out November 5th.
Yay! Will you be on the road when your album drops?
No, yeah,
Okay.
Strangely, the tour will end before the album comes out, so
Okay.
we'll have some kind of celebration, and then
Yay.
in January we'll go to Europe and we'll go to Europe and do some touring there as well.
Oh, so fun. That is really exciting news. So,
Very exciting.
congrats on Governor's Ball. Good luck with the album drop. Good luck with the tour. I hope everything goes super well, and it was great to meet you guys.
It's great to
So
meet you as
thank
well.
you.
Thanks.